Welcome back to Big Mama's house, y'all. I am out at the lake today with my very best friend in the world. We're going to call her Auntie420 because you'll find out why. Um, how are you today, Auntie?
I am fan fucking Can I cuss?
Yeah,
I am fan fucking tastic.
we are very real here. They all know that we are not PG by now. Sometimes it just life happens, especially when Auntie420 is already blazing and drinking today.
Yes, it's gonna be a good Memorial weekend.
But you know what? It's been a rough week. I know how her weeks kind of go, and when Auntie doesn't call back or message back right away, I'm like, oh, it's been a week. Because I know she just can't with any more people.
It's been a rough week, and I'm sick of fucktarded idiots.
Yeah,
Totally tired of them. That's why we have our little spot of peace and serenity here out at the lake to hang out.
that's right. And just so you guys know, Auntie works in a business where she works with people who have government assisted housing, things like that. Um, and sometimes you get the best of the best, and sometimes you just really don't. And those are the people that make her question her life choices almost on the daily.
Those are the people that make me want to win the lottery and buy an island with
And
no idiots.
no docks, nothing that people could stop by and visit. Just airmail, drop me my supplies, and
Yeah.
don't stop for nothing.
Yeah. Helicopter landing zone. That's it.
That's
That
right.
is it. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have been friends for, oh my goodness, since
Oh God.
2005 or 6 maybe.
Yes.
We worked together in the medical field at that time in the same doctor's office. And you want to talk about fucktarded? That place was a disaster and a half. But I think it was us nursing staff that made it bearable for the patients and for each other.
Yes.
Because Lord knows the administrator and the doctors could not give a single fuck.
They gave absolutely no
It
fucks.
was all about the money and how much they could bill people for, and how can you squeeze in an extra 5 people in a day.
Yes. And Saturdays. Don't forget
And
Saturdays.
Saturdays.
Saturdays with the drug clinic. That's what I called it.
There
Uh,
and we actually did have a drug clinic.
yes. That's
So, I mean, we got all kinds.
oh we did. We
We
did.
got this stinkiest where you walk in the room and you want to vomit.
You remember the cat pee ladies?
Yes.
Where we would take air freshener and set it down on the desk in front of us and stick Vicks in our nose.
And we're not even playing.
No, it was
We have to
horrible.
fumigate the room and they would leave. Like scrub down everything they touched, because even just the things around them would pick up the odor that was so strong. And there were people with really bad BO
Yes.
issues, or they smelled like other animals or cigarette smoke that like in a coat that hadn't been washed ever. Yeah, we dealt with every kind of body fluid pretty much on the daily.
Yes, yes.
So, and we were not compensated well. We were not in any way protected.
No.
And like I said, we basically just held each other
We
out
did.
there.
Mama got me through it. Yeah. And when you left, it was hell.
And that is when, in 2010, whenever my back first started really getting bad, and they quote unquote laid me off because one of the doctors was leaving and they didn't have anything for me to do, supposedly. Um, but funnily enough, I heard that like right after I was gone, they turned around and hired someone else.
Yes, they did.
They just didn't want to be sued for discrimination because I was getting disabled.
Yes, because they were big fat fucking liars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but that was my last job that I had, and I waited, like I think we discussed before, about 4 years before I filed for disability, because I was raised that you don't take handouts, you don't live on charity. But you know what? All I did was screw my family
Yes.
for
And
my pride.
you pay that in. That's not a handout. You
And
know,
that's, as young as I was, I think I was only like 35 or something. That was not, it was more of my pride. I didn't want to admit that my life had really changed because I'm stubborn like that.
yeah, it's shitty when your life changes like that too. It sucks.
Well, you know what
The,
that's like.
oh God, it's horrible.
Because we go to the same rheumatologist, and I was just diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis, and you were diagnosed with, did they ever give you a definitive?
Rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, every other kind of arthritis there is,
Right.
and I'm right on the line of lupus. She said, I'm positive you have it, but your blood's just not there yet. And I was
That's
like,
what they told me for 10
yep,
years. I know you have something autoimmune, but
yeah,
we just can't get it. It's not there yet to show up on the test.
yes,
And yeah, yeah, it shows up now.
yeah,
And we found out that the reason I had the blood clot, which became the pulmonary embolism, was because of the lupus anticoagulopathy.
yes.
Like, whoever even heard of that?
That is what I have.
So you have to be aware of those too. Did they have you start taking aspirin or anything like that?
Baby aspirin.
Yes,
Oh no, it's 325
that's a
milligrams.
regular aspirin. Yep.
Yeah, regular, which is probably why I've
Bruising. You
started.
bruised really bad before,
Yes, and now it's worse.
which
I,
could be with the anticoagulopathy.
yeah, yeah, it's great when it's right, by my vein and I look like a drug addict that doesn't know what I'm doing. But I know what I'm doing.
But you know
I'm not
what?
a drug addict.
You see that scar? That is where I had every blood test because that's my only good vein
Hmm?
for the last decade, including when I had to have the weekly blood draws for the Coumadin. I
Oh,
had the
good.
PE, and I'm always walking eyes for blood work. I was like, I swear I'm not some sort of a junkie, and I had to explain. Like, I was like, look, this is where I had all this stuff done, and they're like, we can tell. Don't worry.
Yeah, I have my barrel there. Actually think my barrel is how I taught you how to draw blood.
Yes.
Yes, and you was very good at it.
Yes, the doctor's office we worked at, we weren't phlebotomists.
Nope.
We weren't even licensed, or actually, none of us
We
were educated in any formal fashion
no,
as medical assistants.
no.
But we all drew blood, we all gave injections and immunizations,
Yeah.
and we did PFTs, we did EKGs,
For a long time we had the nerve
we did
conduction.
nerve conductions. What? Oh my gosh, there was something else we did that I'm just like, how is this legal? But of course it wasn't.
I don't think any of it was.
No, of course not. It's
No,
because we were not qualified to be doing any of those things.
no. But we were damn good at it.
Yes,
Damn good.
because we cared. And
Yes,
that, I've always said, half an ounce of give a damn makes all the difference in the world.
it does. It does. And you get attached to those patients.
You
Some
know,
of them.
I hated that job, but I loved it because
Yes.
of my coworkers and because of the patients that you actually help
Yes.
and that appreciated you because they saw that you were working so diligently to help them despite the doctors maybe not being invested that much.
And they weren't.
And that was the hardest part for me, was leaving you guys,
It
because I
sucked.
was so afraid that like we would never see each other. And yeah, all
We
these
look
years
at us now.
later, yeah,
You can't get rid of me.
couple of middle-aged grannies. Well, I'm not a granny yet. I have a grandkitty. That's it.
Oh, I have 3 grandkids, so I'm a grandma.
You got
I'm really
one
not that
kid
old.
and 3
I
grandkids.
know. I know. It's oh,
Just
Tiff,
don't catch up with my dad.
Hannah,
He's got 11.
good God. No. No, my girl she's fixed.
Thank goodness.
Thank God. I keep telling her to go get it redone because she only had them banded. And that can
Oh, that
they
can undo.
refused to burn and
Was it a male doctor?
yes.
That's why.
Yes. And she was so young. Honey, what if you want more?
Well, she was 23, right, at that
Yes.
time?
23, already had 3 kids.
I was 23 when I had mine done. No, yes, 23, I think, or 24. What year? What? It was 2005, so I was 25. But I had 2 kids, and they knew I was getting married, And they were like, well, what if your new husband wants more kids? And I'm like, he's the
No.
one that told me to do this. He did, because I had such hard pregnancies the first 2 times. Like they said, literally, I could die. Like it's not a big chance, but there's a chance. And he was like, no,
Right.
no, I don't. I'd rather have you than a kid of my own. Which how many men are like that? And he's like, we already got 2 kids. We don't need any more. So, but yeah, I had a woman doctor. She didn't. She was like, okay,
Yeah, there's a huge difference. A
you have to go to.
huge,
If
yes.
you don't get the answer you want from a male doctor, ladies, go to a
Get a
lady
female
doctor.
doctor.
Yes, and any. It doesn't just have to be gynecology. It could be any type of specialty or even your GP, because I do find that women listen to women. They take them more seriously, I think.
Yes. They're way more understanding,
Because
I
a lot of
think.
times they kind of get where we're coming
Yes.
from for certain things, and yeah, which is why I it pisses me off so bad to bring it back to us being all jacked up.
We are, though. Man, we're fucked up.
um Doctors, when you say how much pain you're in, they're like, oh, well, you can't be, or you wouldn't be sitting here talking to me like this. And I'm like, just because I'm not some pussy laying on the floor crying, you're not going to
Yeah.
take me seriously because I have some fucking pride and don't want to be like
Yes.
pathetic and whatever just to get what I want.
Yes.
It's like, yes, you would not be able to function with the pain that I deal with on the daily,
And I try to tell them that, and usually I am told, but you work.
right?
You have a job. There's no way that you feel like this.
Now,
There,
Auntie420, tell us how you make it through.
the only way I make it through is I have a wonderful boss, first of all, who says what I do on my lunch hour is my business. So if if I want to go take my medicine at the park on my lunch, I am okay to do that as long as I can function at work. But
I've seen you like so freaking high, but you would never know it
and nobody
because
does.
you're a pro at it. It's been a minute now,
Yes.
or a
And
few maybe. So it's like I would never even know.
no,
It just
most
helps you
people do
not be
not.
in pain,
Yes. And that's how I get through my days. That and knowing that I'm the one that pays my bills and I don't depend on anybody
that's right.
or
And
count on anyone. So, that
my
gets
stubborn
me
girl.
through. Yes, I'm very stubborn. I could probably have a sugar daddy if I wanted one.
Oh, I know you could,
I could, but I just can't. I wish I could. I really wish I could be like my kid with her sugar daddy.
right?
On a side note, my kid is on vacation right now and has already got $1,000 watch and an entire new wardrobe. God love her. She is very happy.
Well,
And
and you
to
know what?
each their own. That's
Whatever.
whatever works.
That is my entire point about 99% of
Yeah.
politics. You just get the fuck out of other
Who
people's
cares?
business.
Who cares? Who cares if there is a drag queen
Thank you.
reading to children? More priests and
Clergy.
members of the church abuse children than drag queens. I
Yep.
mean, what
And
the
just
fuck
because
is wrong
you're
with people?
gay or lesbian does not mean you're a child molester.
No, it does not. That's a big.
Completely different freaking fetishes, first of
Oh,
all.
yes, it
And
is.
then one, I think most gay people, because they have to go to special lengths to have children,
Yes.
value children more.
Yes. And what are they hurting reading a story to a child? I just
Especially because how many people volunteer anymore?
very few.
And so if there is someone, I don't care who you, as long as you're not a child molester, if
Exactly.
you want to volunteer to help out, God bless you. Wish there was more people like you.
Yes.
Like I
Yes.
told my husband, Papa, that um if I would love to get feeling just like even halfway better, I would love to volunteer with the
Yes.
elderly at the library, with the kids, things like that, because I do believe in giving back.
Yes.
And I haven't been able to do anything for anyone in so long. I crave being able to be useful.
Yes. And I don't understand what the difference between a man dressing up as a woman or a woman dressing up as a fairy tale character and reading to children. There, what? Explain that to me. I am confused on the issue here.
I mean, we all grew up with some sort of drag queen. And,
Yes.
in comedy especially.
Yes.
Like Dana Carvey was only funny as the church lady.
Yes.
In my opinion, sorry, Dana Carvey, I love you.
Medea.
I love
I
Medea.
do too. She is my absolute favorite. That's a man dressed as a woman.
Right? And he does it so well.
Yes.
And it's the
And he's
best
fucking
stuff.
hilarious.
And she reminds me of you if you were a large black woman. But if she were a
Yeah.
little white lady, she'd be you.
Yes. I love her. Yeah. So I don't get that. I
The way people think, it's fear. And to me, the only reason a white, middle-aged, or elderly man in government has such an offense against this is because they're turned on by it and it
something's
scares them.
something is wrong with them.
It's like, what do you care?
Right. What let
There are
live
so
and
many
let live.
things.
Yes.
The homelessness, child abuse, freaking clearing up the rape kits that are dated back to 1990.
That will never go anywhere.
Right. I mean, there are so many, many, many issues. Racism,
Yes.
sexism, men
Yes.
trying to tell me what I can do with my uterus. That shit, in my opinion, is what matters.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, I got going there for a second because it gets me.
I'm telling you what, that I could get on that soapbox all fucking day with that shit. And I don't are this is why I want to win the lottery, and my island will be considered its own country, and
A sovereign state,
yes, that is what it's going to be. And fuck the government.
right?
I mean, seriously, they have their nose in everything and they're crooked as can be. The small town police stations,
Oh, Lord.
the
Oh,
don't even get me started on that crap. We
like
have a
what happened?
young man that killed himself, but the gunshot was 6 foot away. Explain that to me.
What?
And yes, yes, there's so much shit that goes on,
Crooked as
and
hell.
crooked son of a bitches.
Well, after Liz was assaulted, and I mean, I had to ride them constantly because they weren't going to do anything because he had already moved out of state.
Yes.
I don't give a damn if you have to hunt him to the moon, prosecute him.
Yes. Yeah, it you do what you got to do, but you know, where I'm from, our sheriff, his brother is one of the biggest dope dealers in that county.
Not shocking. In this,
I,
we
you know,
we are small town people. I've never lived in a city, and I never will.
I have one time and well, no, I take that back. When I was on the road, doing my fire watch thing at the factories and making $30 an hour for standing like this, with my arms crossed, leaning against a pole, making sure nobody started a fire. I was in some big ass cities and they sucked. And the we'd walk out of the hotel at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and somebody would be standing there asking for a cigarette or a dollar, or there was a prostitute right across the street, or it was I am not a city girl. I am a
No, either.
country hillbilly. I
And don't get me
mean,
wrong, we've got our share of panhandlers and crack
we do.
whores,
We do.
but they're not on the corner most of the time. Well, the panhandlers are, but
Yes.
hookers know enough to not be on Main Street.
No, they're on OnlyFans and shit like that. But it's yeah, that big city shit.
Not.
Not for me.
By the way, y'all, the little barks you hear, that is Bo and Foxy, Auntie's little babies.
Yes, I do apologize. They're a little rotten and they like barking at people riding their four-wheelers and side by sides and all that, having fun at the lake on Memorial Weekend.
They're just letting them know you barked away from my mom.
Yes, yeah.
because I will rip your ankles off.
They will too. They will. Foxy, the little, 12-pound baked potato here, she goes after pit bulls. So
Because don't mess with my mama.
that's right. That is right.
And Bo looks like a goofy little. He's just a goofy little boy, but they're both really awesome. I
They
love
are.
coming to visit and seeing my niece and nephew.
Y'all that have dogs know it's that, or any animals. Sometimes they're like a part of the family,
Oh, they
like
are.
your children.
Yes.
They're
Aren't you
spoiled
both?
rotten, and your regular children say you treat them better than.
Well, in our defense, okay, they don't talk back.
Very rarely. Very, very rarely.
Yeah,
And
they don't go, you bitch.
right, I hate you. I hate this house. I didn't tell you, but I told you my kid's on vacation. Great, I'm happy for her. She's starting a new job this week, so she took off and went to Florida to the beach.
Nice.
Baby daddy has all 3 kids.
How long will that last?
Well, Monday after work, I get a phone call,
Of course you did.
and my grandson is a rotten little shit. He's so cute, but he's very rotten. Typical 6-year-old boy.
Well, and he's also the youngest.
Yes, he's the
So
baby.
he's the baby.
He was
Yep.
very spoiled. Yeah. Long story short, I had all 3 of my grandkids, baby daddy's girlfriend, and girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter at my house this week. If you could see the look on Mama's face right now, it is absolutely priceless. Because I despise baby daddy.
That's from like you let him in the house.
I let him sleep in my house.
Why?
Because I love my grandchildren.
Yeah, but
I-
why were they there and not in their own home?
Okay, so baby daddy and girlfriend live at girlfriend's mom and stepdad's.
Okay, and they got kicked out.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, especially with the kids there. The kids are a lot to handle, and
But here's the
stepdad
thing.
is a piece of shit, and the mom likes that nose candy
Oh.
sometimes. So,
But here's the thing. I know that when they're with you,
Mhm.
you pay attention to them. And so
Yes.
they don't have to act out
No.
to get attention.
No.
That is not the situation with baby daddy.
No. And baby daddy was crying because my grandson busted the girlfriend's daughter. It's not funny. I do apologize. I laugh at very inappropriate things.
Especially
I'm
when it's
awful.
420.
Yes. And it's always 420.
Right? That's why we're friends. We just laugh instead of cry.
So, my grandson was in a mood, and they were playing in the sprinklers, and the little 3-year-old daughter come out, and he busted her between the eyes with a big rock. So he got in trouble, as he should have.
Right.
Which really pissed him off. He has anger issues.
Yeah.
So he's like, "You're not my dad, and I hate you," and blah blah blah. What? So what? If a 6-year-old tells you that, who gives a shit? But baby daddy cries and acts like a little pussy bitch.
Even though every time it's his weekend to have his children, they always end up at your house.
Yes, every vacation my daughter has went on, it didn't matter if I was on vacation myself. I have had to stop what I was doing, and
99% of the time is work.
yes, work. Uh, I go get my grandkids because I love them, and I I want them to know that I'm their safe place, that
And you are.
I am. God love their little rotten asses. So on top of work, yes, it's been a week, but I think baby daddy thought that I would do what I always do and say I would just take them and figure it out with work. And what I said was, you and your girlfriend and her kid can all stay here, and so can my grandkids, and you will watch them.
Which is what it should be happening, but it never does because he's lazy.
Yes.
And sorry, I shouldn't say things like
Oh
that.
no,
But
it's so true. But guess what? They left after a couple of days because I wasn't putting my life on hold to make sure that that they
Had
that
it easy.
yes, I didn't let them lay around and do whatever. It was you clean my house and you clean up after yourself and you take care of your children. You made them.
See, and I also know your house is always clean. So if it was a mess, one of them did it, which makes it their responsibility.
Yes, yeah. And
Which would be common sense to most adult people with children. But again, these people have done drugs, and I think they burn up
uh,
most of their brain cells.
yes. And baby daddy has never in his life had a real job. He works at like, the fairs when they're in town because he draws a check and he is one that lives off the system and gets a check from his dad. And he's a good liar and so yeah, he doesn't work, which is why he only has to pay $67 a month in child support for 3 children, and he's never paid a dime. $67 a month
Which means
for
your
three
daughter, from
kids.
the time she was in her early 20s, has, well, basically the entire time, because she did work all the whole time.
Yeah, and
She,
still does.
yeah, to take care of her children.
Yes.
And he just got to sit around and be a piece of shit.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
he wasn't taking care of them kids when she was working.
No, he was out doing drugs and drinking and running around. I've caught him more than one time where he shouldn't have been when my daughter was working because he's, a piece of fuck.
Right.
And I would honestly rather slit his throat than look at him. But I let him stay at my house.
That was
Did
my
it with a
faith when you
smile
said that. I was
on my
like,
face. Yes. So that takes a lot of energy out of a person.
yeah, yes,
It
yes.
really, really does.
That's why
Yes.
every once in a while I said, Gina, I need to run away because I am always on the eggshells.
Yes.
Because not so much Adrian anymore. Adrian and I vibe better now that she's grown up and she's really matured and got her crap together. Um, Liz, of course, is schizophrenic and bipolar, so her moods are always swiftly changing.
Yes.
My husband, whom I adore more than life,
He is wonderful usually.
moody.
He is. He's going through, I think, menopause.
I
I
honestly
do. I
do.
really think that he is. And
That midlife crisis that he
yes,
swears isn't a thing.
but it is. It is. And I mean, I only say this because I had a radical hysterectomy at 30 years old and lost my fucking mind for a couple of years, as you know,
Yeah.
which sucks. But
I
I'm
know
back now.
4 women who had to have the radical hysterectomies, and every one of them
Yes.
that happened for a couple years.
Yes.
Which is why whenever I was having so many female problems, they're like, well, we could do a hysterectomy or we could try an ablation. I'm like, ablation, ablation, please. Oh, no hysterectomy.
And they tried the ablation and
Right,
it
for you, yeah.
unfortunately didn't work. And I'm so glad for the women that it did work for, but oh my good God, I don't recommend a hysterectomy especially if you can't take hormones, if you've
And I can't because
cancer.
of the blood clots.
Right. There's a lot of reasons you can't take hormones and I can't take them, so I just suffer and it's
You've been in menopause for 16 years?
16 years. And my GP says it will never go away,
Oh,
which is odd to me, but I figure after 16 years if it hasn't went away,
it's probably not.
it's not ever going to fucking go away. So it sucks
It really
and
does. Because
it does.
after my ablation last year, I was having all kinds of weird symptoms, weird bloating, weird bleeding, weird, mood swings and hot flashes. And I went to the doctor. I'm like, I don't know if I've got the flu or what's going on. They did some blood work and they're like, yeah, you're perimenopausal. And then it's
Yes.
because they said that a side effect of the ablation could be sending you into early menopause.
Yes.
And mine aren't nearly as bad as yours because I do still have all the parts and, so it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't get as bad as yours.
Oh, it's hell.
I've seen you for years, like you just see this flesh creeping up your chest,
Hmm.
up your neck, up
Mhm.
your face, and then you just start pouring sweat.
It's great when I'm with a tenant or showing a unit or any of that because they're like, oh my God, what is wrong with, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead.
This is
Keep going.
normal.
This is normal for me. It's all good, but it's embarrassing. I hate it. And one day I think I'm just gonna turn into a pile of ash and you're gonna send the cops to do a wellness check and they're gonna be like,
We just found this little pile of
there's a pile
ashes.
of ashes. There's a weed plant growing out of her.
Oh my God. That would be so true though. Like
I,
this lady growing weight.
I have told my daughter, when I die, my life insurance is yours. This is how much it is. I want you to burn me. If you don't even want to cremate me, you just throw me on a burn pile and you plant me with a weed plant and I will be happy.
What?
And I'm dead serious. To me, funerals are so morbid. Like you're looking at somebody in a casket, and I heard we've been to our fair share of funerals,
Oh yeah.
and to see somebody look over a casket and say, "Oh, they look so good." No, they look fucking dead. I I don't want people doing that with me. So I've told her, you burn me and I am good. We are good.
I also am getting cremated.
Yes.
But don't burn me in the yard because you can't get fire hot enough to burn the bones and the dogs will chew on me.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're probably right, but
You can't get a natural fire that hot.
no, you really can't. You can't. So cremation right now is pretty damn cheap, but once they find out that this is the way everybody's going, because a regular nice funeral costs upwards of 20 grand, they're going to raise the price of cremation because that's what our country does.
Even though, I mean, I understand they had to buy the giant furnaces, it's just fire.
It's fire. It's fucking fire. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't understand why it costs, well, it depends on where you go, but between 15 and 2500 just to burn a body.
and they're like, well, you get the urn, you get to pay, but then you have to, if you don't want a crappy little
No,
plain urn, you got to pay for that too.
you don't get an urn. You
Oh,
get
yeah, they get a little box.
with a bag in it. That's I'll show you my dad. He's in my car.
You
So
still have him in your car?
I do.
Why?
Why would I not? If I take him in my house, I think my house might probably burn down. I really do. Um, and if like the only place I would take him to drop him off or spread his ashes is his drug dealer's house. And I have to be not pissed off, and I'm still pissed off. And he died almost 4 years ago. I'm still angry because my dad was
A piece of shit.
he was a piece of shit. And I know you should not speak ill of the dead, but he was a piece of shit.
It's not ill if it's true,
Yes.
in my
So
opinion.
yes, that's the way it is.
All right, the convoy's going by, y'all. Give us just a second. The four-wheeler convoy. Everybody's going somewhere.
They are.
Must be a party.
There's all so many parties here, especially around the holidays, which is another reason why I think I love it here so much. Although I'm too old now to do the whole partying thing, but I like watching people party, you know.
Remembering the
I
good old
just
days.
I do. And I sound like an old person and I'm only 46, but I swear my body is about a fucking 100. So I just like watching
We
everybody.
split the difference and we end up being in our 70s.
Yes, yes. We are going to be like the Golden Girls one day. That's
We'll have to have wheelchair races instead of going out dancing, but
yes,
hey.
yes. What I said when I found out about all the bone spurs on my feet were, I'm not going to have surgery, so I'm going to just work and save up for an electric wheelchair that I want super powered. electric wheelchair.
Do they make superpowered ones?
I mean,
Or are you
if
just gonna modify one?
you gotta modify it.
Okay.
I'm gonna modify that bitch. I could drive it on the highway if I wanted to.
Well.
Yeah, run people over.
Get out of my way. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out of the road. This isn't a place to chat.
No, it's not. So, yeah. But apparently now they can blast them like kidney stones.
Really?
So, yeah, didn't know that
Huh.
at all.
Me either.
So we might, yeah, have to talk to the rheumatologist about that.
Well, mine are in my back, and I don't think they can do it there.
No, but like I think you have degenerative disc disease too,
Yes.
which I have as well. Well, I have been reading they can inject a gel between your discs, and they do this with horses a lot. And the first injection lasts probably about 6 months, but then the second one lasts a year or more. And it's just a gel between your discs that separates them. And
Cushion.
yeah,
So they don't continue to rub and break down.
yes, and apparently it is
Huh.
amazing. So
I wonder why my pain doctor hasn't. Well, maybe he just doesn't do it, and that's why.
they do it a lot on horses and people. I mean, we're a lot alike. Our
Yeah.
bones, and we take a lot of the same medicine. That's why it's damn near impossible now to go to the feed store and get medicine for your horses or cows because we take that same medicine. And
Really?
yeah, when I had COVID, you couldn't get the liquid like the injectable stuff, but there is this gel that helped COVID. 99 I can't even remember the name of it. But when I had COVID, I legit thought I was going to die, and I started taking this gel and started feeling better. It is the nastiest stuff. I had to mix it with my boosted tea that I drink in the morning, but a lot of the people that do the horse shows and the barrel races and all that take this gel after being around a bunch of people so that you don't get COVID.
Huh.
And I mean, we won't get into conspiracy theories, but the government knows all this shit. But it, COVID made a lot of money for the pharmaceutical companies.
Oh yeah, just like Trump fired the FEMA and EPA people in the emergency response right before it broke.
Yes, yes,
And he told everybody, "Oh, don't worry, it's not a big thing." It's
yes,
like millions of people die.
yes, yes. But there again, a lot of people that got the COVID vaccine died also.
Well, I mean, it's just like any other vaccine. Just
Mhm.
because you have the vaccine doesn't mean you're 100%,
Right.
protected.
That is true. Shh. You're going to hear me scream, shut up.
Like, but there's a person across the road and I can see them.
Sometimes they get a little out of control.
Yeah. Like, but we're at the lake. We're allowed to be noisy.
That is what they think. They don't understand what a podcast is.
No, but they gotta let everybody know to stay away from mama or they will come after you and your ankles.
Yes, yes, they will.
All right. Well, I think this is a good place to leave it for today. Thank you so much for coming or allowing me to come out and see you at the lake. The first time I've ever been out here, and it is lovely. And hopefully, we will be able to do it again in a few weeks, and everybody can get to know you a little bit better.
Yes, that would be freaking awesome. This really was fun.
I told you it was
I
painless,
kind of like it.
right?
Yeah, I do
Awesome.
like it.
Well, hopefully, you'll become a regular. All right, everybody, come on down to Big Mama's house next time and get some more info out of the rest of us. Bye, y'all.